Hey, welcome back. So in this video, I'd like to give a few of my thoughts on the standards of men. Yesterday, previous video, I gave a few of my thoughts on the standards of women, and in this video, I'm going to attempt to give a few on the standards of men. The sexual standards of men, like who men tend to cream pie and why, and also dating standards, like going on dates and getting a little bit more than just the casual stuff, trying to find someone to spend a little bit more of your time with intimately, and then also life partner standards, again, like marriage, trying to find wifey material, trying to find someone to spend the rest of your life with. It's a hell of a thing to attempt to do, but people are out there really, they're trying their hardest. And also, again, like what I feel to be at the top of the list really is reproductive standards, procreative standards, having children with someone, trying to find someone. If you're going to do that, I don't think I'm ever going to do that, but if you're trying to find someone to have children with, again, you should have the highest of standards as you possibly can. Like if you recognize that who you're fucking, who you're dating, who you're trying to get seriously involved with, if there is a chance, if there's a decent chance that you are to have a child with this person, you want to have some standards. And I didn't really do a good job of clarifying what I mean by that in the previous one. Somewhat, but not. There's way more. I think like when I first think of standards, I think of like the more superficial stuff. That's what immediately pops into my head. Like, have some standards. That's what I initially think about is, how someone, like the first sort of impression that you get, just a lot of it being relatively superficial. And that's, we're animals, we're primates. That's a lot of what drives us, is just the really, and that's what determines who many people end up having children with, is just this really, it's a lot more superficial, surface level stuff than that I feel that it should be. And again, like having children, that's the people. You look around and all the people, they came from wombs. Every one of them was initially a conception, and that was carried to term. Every single one that you ever see, coming out of the womb and doing all of the things that human beings out of the womb do. A lot of bad stuff, a lot of not that bad stuff, but a lot of bad stuff. So I don't know. I feel like people should have higher standards. And when it comes to guys, right, I'm talking about the standards of many dudes. When it comes to sexual standards and reproductive standards, they're intertwined. Again, like they're very heavily connected. Who you end up cream pieing, and then it's in their park. The ball is now in their court, and they can decide whether to keep it or to kill it. And many dudes just have no standards when it comes to who they shoot loads inside of. The fertile holes that they fill with their cum, they don't care about the quality of the person very much. Many guys, and then they carry it to term, and then they have that, and that's a person eventually. That's like a fully developed adult person, like shit tons of adult people. That was the origin, was just a guy who really was like not invested, not really attached in the slightest to the mother of this person. And I feel like more people should try to think about their prospective children's qualities of life with respect to who they fuck. And many guys do that less, to a less degree. And I think the reasons as to why this is are pretty biological. They're pretty obvious. I think a lot of it, when it comes to the level of investment felt, attachment felt for your potential children that you're going to have, you're going to create, and the level of incentive felt to take care of your children, to do a good job of that, to try to do like bare minimum stuff. Many dudes don't do that. And I think a lot of it comes down to they just shot some loads and they just felt nothing for the person that they did that with. And many women will just fuck these dudes and then carry their seeds to term. The seeds of men who just have don't want anything to do with them. And that boggles the mind. It really, I mean, there are places where it's illegal, of course, to get abortions, and but I feel like when it comes to abortion and people's perception of abortion, like the people who get them and the people who decide to not, like the women who are in that predicament, and it is actually a choice. Like they're in the places where it's a choice. Many places it's not even a fucking choice, and you have to carry it. So then you got to be really careful about who you allow to cream pie inside of you. Where I am, you don't have to be quite as careful about that. You can take cream pies and just you can just kill it if you'd like. But many people believe as though you shouldn't kill it because it's a special thing developing in there. You're killing something that is very, very special. And I believe that at the very least, in the majority of the cases in which they are killing it, I don't think they're killing something that really is all that special. Even just like the potential of the, I struggle to see convincing sort of, because you look at like what that often results in, and it's just, was that that better than if it was just killed as an embryo? Is it what? But yeah, the standards of guys, I think many guys have no standards. None of them. Not a single standard. And I feel that this is heavily reflected. It's clear. This is clear. Plain as day. When you see like what sort of... I know people. I know more than I'd like to know of. I don't like on an intimate level, but I know of people who have children with people that they felt like nothing for, not even like investment, attraction, even just attraction, like none of that was felt. And it's just, so I think when it comes to guys, I think a lot of them just want to get that quick little release. And they don't care about the consequences of what's to come as a consequence of getting that sweet release. And yeah, I believe that abortion is one of the few things we're at the 8-minute mark. It's one of the few things that really helps in minimizing the proliferation of the Genghis Khan sorts of fellas out there that are just shooting loads, and then they feel no incentive to take care of what the loads end up becoming, and they feel none of that, no incentive, no attachment for the person that they've impregnated, and then it's carried to term, and I feel in many ways it does look to be the case that women are the primary choosers when it comes to fucking. Because like most guys are just, they're just driven by their penises. And I spent a fair bit of time being primarily driven by the thing in my pants as well. But I've gotten a little bit better about it. I've gotten a lot of bit better about it. I think this is one of the biggest reasons as to why we are such a cesspool of a species. I do. I think that it's a big one. And those are my thoughts. Those are some of my thoughts. Those are just a few of my thoughts on the standards of many men. Many men just don't have them at all. And then many women also don't really have high ones about... And then they're creating a lot of the people who have like no standards in terms of like trying to find someone that's going to be like a good father, a good mother, and thinking about like the cause and effect of who their children will become, and trying to make it to where their children will, have the highest of odds of living decent lives, living lives that they themselves would deem to be worth living, with substance, with fulfillment, and just trying to, because that's a difficult thing to source here. but trying to make it to where that's the most likely to happen. Just putting in some effort there. And I think the people who put in the least amount of effort there, they're creating most of the people. And as always, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are on the anything that I've said in this video when it comes to standards. And yeah. See, I mean, it doesn't, like, when it comes to this channel has just been a gigantic, primarily focused on that question. What does it mean to create people? Really, standards, I don't give a shit if you have no standards. If you're not going to create people, then it's fine. You can, self-destruction is perfectly, have at it. But then if you throw people into the, like, new, fully developed, creating people, that's where you get into some, like, I feel like you shouldn't do that. I feel like you should be more careful about that, because cause and effect. It's like, the same reason that I'd feel some level of concern for someone going out and getting fucking shit-faced and then getting behind the wheel of a car, and just because the potential for bad is far more than just the person driving the car. It's other people on the road. And so even if, like, from that perspective of, if you create a person and you do a shitty fucking job of raising, they're gonna fuck other lives up probably. It's the cycle. It's the cycle of shit. Those are my thoughts. Those are a few of my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Feel free. Goodbye.